It's going to be a very important night for me. I know what the hall means to this area, and it's the people in it and the people who visit it with pride and see the memorabilia and the family members that are in and the friends. And when I got the call from Tim, I hung up the phone and I just kind of sat on the couch for a few minutes, and the wife, Meg, she come around the corner, she says, "You okay?" I said, "Well, not really. I mean, I just got inducted into the Hall of Fame." And she's like, "What?" And she was so proud. And you know, as soon as the official announcement was made by the hall, then we could start telling our friends and family. And she was the first one. You know, she was calling people and, "Tim's going into the hall," you know, and posted a nice thing on Facebook for me. And my friends that I've met and still have to this day through the archery world, like I got over 200 responses, you know, just congratulating me. It was a pretty surreal moment, and a few days of thanking everybody and, you know, sending messages back. And it's a very special place, and to be recognized as the first ever archer that's going in, like it's a pretty special moment. Quite an interesting how it all turned out. When I went to Lakefield High School, when I got there in the grade 10 year, there was a sign-up sheet on a bulletin board outside the gym, after school archery. And I'm like, that sounds like fun. You know, I never thought about doing it. It was basically, I was wanting to do it to learn how to bow hunt. Like, I'm a hunter, right? And get in there for a few practices and met the coach, and he kind of hired me to come into his little shop in his basement to make arrows, and it got to the point where it got big enough where we rented a place on the Queensway and started Saugeen Shabs, and we had indoor shooting ranges and kids lessons, and it got too big for that place, so we moved into Lansdowne Street there across from the independent grocery store, and it was a full-time business that I stayed at for 25 years. And then the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters hired me in 2012, and in 2014 we brought in the National Archery in the Schools program, where we ran the Ontario chapter of the, you know, it's a worldwide program, and the main focus of that was getting archery back into the phys ed classes. Archery was always allowed, it was just schools didn't know how to do it. So we actually trained the gym teachers, and the gym teachers taught archery during phys ed class. And when I left there in December of 2025, we had more than 15,000 kids a year doing it in their gym class. So it's been an amazing, you know, almost 40 years, but you know, something that's very passionate, and, you know, bringing kids along into the sport that's been my whole life. And it's funny, like I got figured it out the other day, almost 750 tournaments in my lifetime. And, you know, just a couple of weeks ago, we had the Canadian Indoor Nationals, and I was standing on the shooting line and I was just shaking, you know, and I've done it for 40 years, right? And I'm just, holy jumping, how many coffees did I have this morning? Like, it was just, but I've always said, you know, if you're not nervous on the shooting line, it doesn't mean anything to you, right? And like, even after 40 years, you still want to do well, you know, and the nerves prove that it matters to you, right? It just does. I was fortunate enough when I was younger to get onto a couple of Ontario teams as a junior and shoot in the States a lot. I've shot Canadian Nationals in every province as part of Team Ontario, except for Manitoba. In the year that Manitoba has hosted it, I couldn't go. But I've been to Nova Scotia and PEI and like all the other, actually in 2026 Canadian Nationals is here in Ontario. So Madawaska Archers have the event, so we're looking forward to that. And but my biggest trip was in 2011. So in 2010, I won the Canadian National 3D Archery Championships in Nova Scotia. And when I won that, it actually qualified me for Team Canada. And so in 2011, I went on Team Canada to Austria and shot the World Championships with the Canadian jersey on my back. It was pretty cool. You know, the best archers from every country you know, and it was something. Some of them I still actually keep in touch with today, you know, almost 15 years later. I just emails and, you know, stuff, but to meet those people was great. And it was a wonderful event, and after, you know, 8 days of shooting, I made it to the final 4, and we shot in like a big soccer field with literally thousands of people watching us, and ended up winning a silver medal at the World Championships. Come right down to the last guy and I, and one shot for the bullseye, and at 40 yards, he was an 1/8 of an inch closer than I was, and he was world champion, and I was a silver medalist. So something I'll never forget, you know. Very fortunate to go to that team and be a part of that. But what's interesting is there's never been another male Canadian win a medal at the 3D World Championships. So I'm hoping that there will be, and maybe I'll coach somebody to do that. You know, who knows? But as of right now, so far, it's the one that's going to be on display at the Hall of Fame for the rest of the year, is people can go out and see, is the only one.